Today we will take a look at Fusion Strike. Fusion Strike is a set which kind of is the forgotten set of the Sword and Shield era, but people now are starting to appreciate how good Fusion Strike really is. And we're going to be taking a look at TCG Player to see really what's been going on with Fusion Strike with the sealed product and the singles. Let's get into it. Alright guys, we are carrying on with our little series of going through each one of the sets in the Sword and Shield era at the market before we get into the Scarlet and Violet era, and we're just going to see what's been going on. As we know, sealed product has been going up. Some booster boxes and sets have been getting harder and harder to get hold of. You know, people asking for reprints, restocks, and you name it across the board. And today we'll be taking a look at Fusion Strike. So we already looked at Chill and Rain. Now today we'll be taking a look at Fusion Strike. This is a great set. I mean, I really do appreciate the artwork of this set. It's one of the sets where I put my hands up. I didn't buy any of it when it came out. Wasn't interested. It did come out at a really awkward time. We had the release of Celebrations. You had Evolving Skies, Celebrations. Then you had Brilliant Stars announced. People kind of weren't really interested in Fusion Strike. There was a load of it around. You could easily pick up booster boxes for $80, $90. Quite comfortably. However, as it's starting to age and we're going into the new era, it's starting to pick up. Booster boxes are going up in price. Single cards are going up in price. It's getting quite pricey. You know, Fusion Strike is getting up there amongst some of the big heavy hitters within the era, to be honest, of Sword and Shield. Now it is the largest set. The pull rates are very, very tough to get these cards. Very, very difficult. No trainer gallery, no subset. No craziness like that. Good old fashioned, try and crack the packs to pull the big cards. Now obviously the Gengar and the Espeon are the two biggest cards in the set. There's quite a few alt arts in the set, but nowhere near on the same level as Evolving Skies or Chill and Rain. But this is still a good set nonetheless. But let's take a look at what's been going on. Fusion Strike. What has been going on with Fusion Strike? Well, $134 is the price point on TCG Player. That is quite interesting. It's not quite as high as Chill and Rain. It is a very similar price to some of the other sets in the Sword and Shield era right now for booster boxes. $134. We go back 6 months. We give us a good indication of what's been going on with this set. I'm looking around $100 was the price point. Okay, it was $100, and then around November it then started to climb. So it went from 102 to 134. So we're looking at probably around about a 30% increase on the value of of the booster box, and that's what, 3 months. It's been going up 10% per month. That's a very, very impressive feat for Fusion Strike. We saw that with Chill and Rain. That climbed very, very fast as well. I do expect to see more of Fusion Strike being opened, so some of the card prices might drop a little bit, probably not a huge amount. Now the thing is, Pokemon usually print off a lot of booster boxes, lots of waves and things like that. This wasn't really selling, so there wasn't a need and a demand to print more of this set compared to some of the others within the Sword and Shield era. But that doesn't mean there's still not a lot of it around. There are quite a lot of Fusion Strike around. Now I do feel like now is a good time to pick up a Fusion Strike booster box, very similar to Chill and Rain. It's one of these sets where it's kind of had that nice sweet spot where now's a really good time to pick it up, because I do feel like it could reach, at the rate it's going, potentially $200 by the end of the year. Maybe fall a little bit short, but it might get there. Now Chill and Rain, I do feel like it will get there. I think Fusion Strike might sit at that 180, but we'll have to wait and see. But it's coming out the gate strong this year already, and I do expect it to climb some more. But what's been going on with the single cards of this set? We'll be taking a look at the top big cards of this set, and first off we have the Breakdancing Genesect VOR Me on a Saturday night. Let's take a look at this. $24. It's cheap. It is a pretty cheap one. We go back 6 months and it is pretty level. It's been pretty steady. It did have a little peak around Christmas time. We noticed that with a lot of trends of Chill and Rain. A lot of the Chill and Rain cards actually had a peak around Christmas time and then dropped. So they were climbing and they had this weird jump over Christmas and then they just dropped. And we've seen that now with the Genesect. Hasn't really moved much. I do value a set where I can look at cards that are around $30 or more. How many of the cards in the set are there? This set has some. Not a huge amount, but it has a decent amount. It does have a few amount of alt arts actually, but not all of them are that expensive. Next we have the Inteleon V alt art. Again, this isn't very expensive. This is another alt art in the set. It isn't huge price tags. We're looking around $26. Again, it did drop. We go back 6 months to give us a real indication. It's still a little bit higher. $24, $26, basically the same, right? But it did actually reach a high of 30, and it has dropped since. We're looking again around that Christmas mark. It's been peaking and then it dropped. This is a cheap card, in comparison to some of the other cards in the set, but this is an alt art. Pretty cool alt art, but I do feel like it's not really one of the big heavy hitters of this set, and there are a couple that are really big, but unlike Chin and Rain, where Chin and Rain has like quite a few medium-sized value alt arts that we saw, we saw a lot of them around 30, around 40, around 50. Fusion Strike is a little bit different. Then we have the Celebi alt art. Now we actually pulled this recently. We actually did pull this one recently. First time pulling it. This is around $31. We go back 6 months, and again, it hasn't really moved much. We're looking around 28, 31. No, around Christmas again, 36, 37. It was reaching those heights at Christmas. Then it's starting to sell down. Again, it is the first card over $30. I think this set maybe has like 4 or 5 that are over $30. So it's not a massive amount. This set has some at around $30. This is a really cool card. It hasn't really moved much. Again, it's following similar trends to a lot of the alt arts. In Chin and Rain, spiked over Christmas, settling back down. But I do feel like this card is probably going to plateau, level out, steady around that $30. Might climb towards the end of the year again towards Christmas, but we'll have to wait and see. Next we have a Rainbow. Obviously we're moving away from Rainbow and Scarlet and Violet. This is actually quite an expensive Rainbow cards. Most Rainbow cards don't actually hold incredible amount of value unless you're a Rainbow Chonkachu. But this is doing pretty well. Mew VMAX is not an alt art, like I say, it's a Rainbow. Has had a little bit of a jump. We go back 6 months. Let's take a look at this. $39, pretty much the same, right? 39 did peak to 41, then it dropped as low as 35, and it did the opposite over Christmas compared to the others. It actually dropped, which is very, very surprising. And it's on a little bit of an uptick, but it's still pretty much the same as it was 6 months ago. No real change. Over Christmas it did the opposite to the others, so really interesting. Next we have the Mew VO art, and we actually pulled this recently in a box break. This was fantastic. $43 for this little guy. We go about 6 months. $40, 43. Again, pretty stable. Over Christmas it reached a high of 47. This again is another card that hasn't really done much in the way of movement. If you want to pick up these cards now's a good time. Now is a really good time. If you don't have these in your collection, you don't want to crack packs, you just want to get the cards, now's a good time. Because they're not that expensive. Some of the alt arts from this set are not that expensive. We have the top 2, top 3 really high, but it's not too bad. Look, compared to Chin and Rain, these are a lot cheaper. Now we're coming into the big 3. We have the Mew VMAX alt art. I've never been a fan of this card. I don't know why. I preferred the V, but I've never been a fan of this VMAX. This has been going up. So we go back 6 months. This has been a climber. $70 going up to $90. So it's gained about $20 in 6 months. Again, that's not bad going. We're looking at just under a third in value. This actually has been climbing. That's really interesting. This is one of the big 3 of the set. Big 3 of the set sitting at $90. That's not too bad. Not quite as good as Chin and Rain with some of the big heavy hitters in Chin and Rain, but that is still pretty decent. There's not a lot of sets that have cards that are close to that $100 mark. This will probably reach $100 in a matter of time. Which means there's 3 cards in this set that are over $100, which does make it pretty good. Then we have the Espeon VMAX alt art, kind of the missing one from Evolving Skies, and this is a big card. It has dropped though in price. Let's take a look, guys. Okay, we go back 6 months. So 6 months ago it was $130, and right now it's $150. Okay, so it's gone up $30. However, over the Christmas period, it did reach as high as basically $170. So since then, it's dropped around about $20, but it did reach a high of $170 compared to $130, so that's a $40 increase. That's pretty good. Right now, like we say, we're looking around $150. That's expensive. You take a look at some of the Evolutions alt arts and the VMAX as well from Evolving Skies, Sylveon, Glaceon, Leafeon. This is sitting up there. This is rumbling with them. In fact, I think this is actually more expensive than them. Just the Moonbreon is more expensive, but this is just a beautiful card. I really want it in my collection, but nonetheless, yeah, this is a gorgeous card, but I do feel like it's so difficult to pull. It is so tough. We've never pulled it, but it's a gorgeous card. And then finally, we have the Gengar VMAX. This is the big boy. Let's take a look at this. $163 right now. Okay, let's go back 6 months. So $140, I'll say about $140. And, it did reach 175 and it's sitting around 163. So it has actually gone up, maybe by like 10-15%. We go back a year though. I mean, overall, it has climbed massively. We take a look at this. We're looking at August last year, it was $100. So overall, it jumped around about 60% since August. So it has actually climbed a significant amount. This is a tough card to pull. Crazy looking card. I love Gengar, and so many people want to pull this. So many people want to pull this. If you can get hold of this, then good quality, then I would definitely do so. Over here in the UK, this actually been selling, I think people maybe like 140 It's usually them, 130, 140. So it's quite interesting. It is quite pricey, but I would say that it is a really, really cool card, and the chase card of Fusion Strike. So that is Fusion Strike, guys. Let me know down in the comments whether or not you want to pick up some Fusion Strike. Have you been opening it? What's your chase card? Do you like this set? I've actually started to get some more. I'm on the road to getting 6 boxes. Like I say, I usually do 6 boxes for the sets I like, and then I usually go one of each of the sets I'm not too fussed about. So I'm going to go for 6 boxes. This is a fantastic set. Again, similar to Chill and Rain. And we're going to continue the series with more different sets in the Sword and Shield era, so definitely make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. And if you like this video, guys, make sure to hit that like button as well. And like I say, let me know in the comments what you think about the Fusion Strike. But I do think it's good. I do feel like booster boxes might get near $200, but not quite. So it'd be really interesting to see how it goes in the long haul. But yeah, if you haven't seen what's going on with Chill and Rain, then make sure to click on this video right here. If you want to watch more Pokemon content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. That's it from me, guys, in this video. As always, you guys are the legends, and I'll see you all in the next one.